stuck in a rut and looking for a career change. I went from going to school, getting a bachelor's degree in interior design to no longer using that degree and now working in tech. So let's talk about how I got here today. I'm gonna try not to make this super long, so we're just gonna hit through some of the highlights here. I went to school, got a 4-year degree, Bachelor of Science in Interior Design back in 2015. God, isn't that crazy? That was 9 years ago. Wow, guys, time. Okay, so I did that. I wanted to be an interior designer. I wanted to be one for the longest time. My first ever foray into the working world was an unpaid internship. So that sucked, but it was interesting and I learned kind of a little bit. Then I got another internship that actually turned to my first full-time interior design job with the whopping salary of $35,000. Yes, here in Denver back in 2015, 2016. Yes, I did that job for a little bit, transitioned to a different job where I was there probably about definitely 4 years. I was there 4 years, and that was my last design job, guys. Did 3 different jobs in the span of 7 years. 4 years at that last place doing commercial real estate, where I think the most I made there was about $60,000. So, not a bad jump, but guys, that was literally the job from hell. It was so bad. It was a multitude of things, and I've talked about this before, but highlights. The place that I worked at was a small company, 20 people. The owner and the HR person, total whack jobs. Like they were nice people, but they ran business horribly to the point they were no longer nice people. Do you know what I mean? The project managers hardly had any education, but very pompous, very egotistical men. And then the work itself was so unfulfilling. It was commercial real estate, so like commercial office buildings, and we would like renovate the office spaces. That you would think that would sound fun, but the budgets were really tight, the time constraints were crazy, and all they cared about was the bottom line. And these guys are already so wealthy, and I did not like that I was adding to their bottom line. And then also the pay was not great for the amount of work that I had to do. Like 60,000 sounds like an okay salary, but like when you take all the taxes and retirement contributions, you're really not left with much, which is like, okay, this is definitely a livable wage above the median income in the United States. But the amount of work that I was doing did not equal the amount of pay that I was getting. So that place was many things, but it was finally my last straw. It was my 13th reason. So that is really what led me to start to explore other things. I was looking at other industries that I could get into. My partner, he is in tech, software developer, and he was mentioning like, hey, maybe you'd be interested in UX design. Had no idea what that was. I went on to YouTube University here where you're watching me. And that is when I was like, okay, this seems like a lot of my skills could transfer, like user-centric thinking, visual aesthetics, visual design, spatial awareness, problem solving, communication skills, all these things that I was doing as an interior designer, I knew I could bring it into UX. So that is when I was like, all right, I've done a little bit of deep diving. I'm now going to commit and do a UX bootcamp. So shout out to Springboard, who is the sponsor of today's video. They are the bootcamp that I went with, guys. I wanted to become a UX designer as soon as possible, as fast as I can. And Springboard, you can become a designer in 9 months or less. I think it took me about 7-8 months. They really had all the things that I didn't even know I needed. The one-on-one mentoring, the real client project at the end. That is what helps me get my current UX design job because of that real world project that I did through Springboard. They've got the job guarantee program where after a certain point, if you're eligible, 6 months, you've been applying, you've been doing all the things, you don't have to pay anything back. So they have a lot of skin in the game, okay? More than I can say about my college degree that is sitting on a dusty shelf right now. So I just really knew I needed the structure of a boot camp, of classes. I'm somebody that could not have been self-taught or just like learning strictly off of YouTube. So if you're somebody like me that kind of wants that structure, needs that structure, then I'd highly recommend their boot camp. I am living proof that it does work. Their next cohort starts June 10th. To be in that cohort, you have to apply by the deadline of June 5th. So If what I'm talking about so far has hooked you, has grabbed you, click the link down below in my description box. Use the code STEPHANIEM to get $1,000 off the course. I specifically did the UI UX course. So take a look at it, see if that interests you. Take the leap, guys. Like if you are at this point in the video, take the leap, look into it, and see if this will work for you. So I finished the bootcamp. I did that real world industry project, and I really emphasized that in my portfolio just to really kind of help me get jobs started. I did a little bit of freelance work for a family friend, just anything that I could do to kind of keep my skills sharp. And then finally, I got my UX design job. That was honestly the best feeling, guys. The feeling of knowing that you switched from something else and you were able to actually get the next position. You left interior design behind and now you're a working UX designer is just, there's no feeling like it. There's no feeling like it of like, man, I really did that. I just busted that out. Can't say where I work and unfortunately how much I get paid, but I will put a range up on the screen for you guys. And I am in that range. I'm very happy in that range. When I got the role, I was working on one specific team and I was a junior level, entry level designer. Now I'm at the point where I am at my 2-year mark. I am now supporting 3 teams and have been now moved up to mid-level designer. More responsibilities. I am balancing multiple teams. So I have to be really, really efficient with my time and my to-do list just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. But it's been really, really rewarding. I was just no longer happy doing interior design. Like 21-year-old college Stephanie was all about it, but 27, 28-year-old Stephanie was not happy doing interior design. And I think that's okay. I think I can get more into this, do a whole video essay on this, but it's okay to change your career when you're not happy. I think millennials, we get a bad rap about like, we never want to stay someplace. Like it's not like our boomers and the parents' days of like, we just stayed at a job and you got a pension. It's like, that's not realistic anymore. And that is really okay. And I really think anybody can do it. If you are willing to put in the work and invest in yourself and make that change, you can do it. You really, really can, guys. I am living proof that it's possible to get out of that crappy job and into something that you actually enjoy doing every day. Like I said, if you're interested in UX design specifically, I would really, 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 really recommend you guys check out the link in my description to check out Springboard's UX UI program. You get $1,000 off that course. That really helps my channel and allows me to keep coming out here and just giving you guys my point of view about UX, about life, about all kinds of things. So check it down below. And if this has piqued your interest in what does a UX designer do every day, check out this video here where I go over a day in the life as a designer.